Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool arcade game repair video for you today. Today we are working on Pac-Man. This is actually a Miss Pac-Man manual, but they're kind of the same. We are working on a Pac-Man board, and so we're trying to fix this thing up and figure out what's going on with it. So my brother Joe, I'm Ron actually, a lot of people don't realize that, but there's two of us, Ron and Joe. I do most of the videos. Joey does a lot of the repair off camera, right? So he has been working on this Pac-Man, and he wants me to look at why it's not working. So here's what he's done. He cleaned the chips. The board wouldn't boot. He cleaned the chips, and then to rule out the ROMs, he has attached this diagnostic kit to it. 2-bit ABC diagnostic. So 2-bit is an old way of saying a quarter. So you know the old shave and a haircut, 2 bits. That's like the old, it's a way that people used to describe a quarter. And there was a company called 2-bit, here's their address, 2bit.com. So back in the day, they sold a lot of Pac-Man stuff. They basically got the license to make Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man type stuff. So anyway, they had this little diagnostic kit that they sold. They called their ABC board. And you put this EEPROM in, and it runs some tests and stuff. But the problem that we're running into is that you cannot read any of the text. All right. So if you look really carefully, see the little copyright signal, how you're seeing 2 of the left of the copyright signal? It's kind of hard to tell what this is, you know, but if you look there, you can kind of tell that the copyright symbol is like 2 of the left or something, right? So everything's repeated, but it's kind of like the text and everything. I don't even know if it'll go to the next screen. Yeah. So the little dot, it's 2 of the left. So all of the, everything is repeated twice, and it's kind of all of the, text. I don't know about the actual. I don't remember how you get out of that, but all the text at least is repeated twice, and we got to fix that. So how are we going to figure that out? Well, I've got the schematics here for a Miss Pac-Man, which is the same main board as Pac-Man. The difference between Miss Pac-Man is it has a similar daughter card on it, and the ROMs are different. So we're going to use these schematics. But what I like to do if you're trying to do a Pac-Man is there is an old web page from way back in the day on the internet called Lawnmower Man. It's a Pac-Man page. And Lawnmower Man had a list of all kinds of different things that can go wrong with a Pac-Man board that people had seen over the years and what chip that ended up being, right? So some people can look at this problem and just say, oh, I know what that is. That's probably in this area, because they understand completely how the board works, right? But if you don't completely understand how the board works, if you just have kind of a limited knowledge of it, if you go to Lawnmower Man's page, it can help you kind of track it down, right? Get in that area. So I'm going to look on his page, and then I've got a a logic probe here I'm going to plug up, and then we're going to check for some signals and see if we've got anything that looks weird, and if we do, we'll swap a chip and see if that fixes our problem. But you've got some kind of address line problem. So it seems to me, I may have this wrong, but I think the way it works is that the game is basically, the CPU is calling for it to display something right there. And so it's looking for an image that's held in a certain address on the ROM, but the address line is wrong or doubled up or shorted together or something like that, or one of them's missing, so it's displaying the wrong thing that's in the wrong address. So instead of a left and a right, it's showing the left and the left. So there's a signal missing or something stuck or 2 tied together or something like that. So hopefully we can figure it. So let's look at Lawnmower Man's page and see if he helps us narrow it down. Okay, so we are on Lawnmower Man's Pac-Man page, where he tells you all of the information that he learned over the years. Good old Lawnmower Man. He's completely anonymous to me, but boy, he was the man. So go to lawnmowerman.rothblog.com, lawnmowerman.rothblog.com. But anyway, he's got a section. If your Pac-Man plays, but images and text are 4/4 of the left side of a sprite repeated. In his opinion, that's a bad setting for LS283 at 1F. Or it plays and images are 4 1/4 of the left side of a sprite repeated. Plays slightly to the left of marquee box, Miss Pac-Man, motion and demo or jerky. Bad 74 LS283 at 1E. Blah, blah, blah. So he's pointing towards that area. So we're going to go look at like the area around 1E and 1F and see if we find anything stuck. Okay, so 1E and 1F. We'll hook up the logic probe. Basically, you want something that has 5 volts on it, so one of these caps works perfect. And 1E and 1F are these two little down here. Let me turn up the brightness so you can see it better. Let's see what they're calling it. 1E and 1F. All right, so we'll look on the schematics and see if we've got signals there, or if something's missing, or what the deal is. And I've just got it in this screen on the test thing, so I don't know if that will use every one of those lines or not. But let's get to testing and we'll see if we find anything. Okay, so specifically, Lawnmower Man, the first one he was mentioning was 1F. So here's the 1F on the schematic. So we're going to look and see if we see anything weird with that. So you see 5 and 6 are an input, A1 and B1, and then the output is 4. So 1F, we're going to see what we get. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5, we get a good signal on the input. 6, we get a good signal on the output. And 4, we get a good signal on the output, right? So 5, 6, and 4 seem fine, right? So then there's 2, 3, and 1. 1F. 2, good sound and input. Good sound and input. 1, good sound and output. So you might be thinking, well, how do you know it sounds good? It just sounds like other stuff I've heard. It may be wrong. You know, it may be that it's sending out a, it's supposed to send out a certain waveform. It may be that it's sending out a screwed up one, and you can't tell by the way it's beeping. You would need an oscilloscope to know for sure. 1F. Okay, so those 6 seem fine. 13, 14, and 15. So 13 input. 14 input. 15 output. Seems fine. 10, 11, and 12. Input. Input. Output. All that sounds pretty good to me. And that's kind of like the enable signal or whatever. 9 and 7 are my 2 control signals. So here's what I'm going to do. Sometimes, so on these ones that are pulsing like this, it's not locked on ground, and it's not locked on high. You know what I mean? What's going on is that if there is a problem with the chip, so it's sending a signal like this that you could probably, well, obviously you could catch on an oscilloscope, sending a signal like this. Sometimes when these fail, it's because they can't make that swing the way they should. So instead of doing this, you're getting this, right? So sometimes if you have a chip like that, you can piggyback a working chip on it, and that working chip has the ability to pass the signal through as it should. And even though the old chip is still installed, the working chip will override it and carry the signal through it. So there's little gates inside of these, So on this particular one that we're looking at, 5 and 6 are an input, and then the output is 4. That's really like, you know, it's just a gate inside of the chip. The chip is just designed to have several gates in it. So if there's a problem with the chip where it's just not able to swing as far as it should, if you have something that's shorted to ground, well, if you put a new chip on top of it, if you piggyback a chip on it, it's still not going to work because it'll short the new chip to ground as well, you know, or similarly if it's shorted to high. But that's not what's going on here. There's a problem where it's just not passing the signal through. If that's anything wrong with it, there may not be anything wrong with it, and we can move on. But I saw a couple places where they mentioned 1F, so what I'm going to try to do is, just for giggles, I'm going to piggyback a new chip on it and see if that changes anything. So let me get some 74 LS283s and we'll try it out. So I got one. So here's how you piggyback them. Okay, so we're messing with 1F, this one. Okay, so you bend the legs so that they're pretty much straight up and down. And then you very carefully, usually without anybody watching on camera, just bend it over the pins. So what it's doing now is just the springiness of the pins are touching the other pins. It's not perfect, but it's on there, right? So now you have two chips doing the exact same thing, right? So if the one just wasn't up to the task, that one will override it and fix it. If the one shorted, though, that it would short that one too, right? So sometimes if you get one it's suspect and you don't know if the inputs, if you don't know if it's working properly, you can piggyback one on top of it and see if it does. So we've got it turned off. Let's turn it back on and see if we still got the same thing or if it's working. Same thing. So that's not the problem. Sometimes you can... Oh, wait a minute. Let me try to get it on there a little better. I think that's it. That'd be some crap. Yep. Look, first chip we tried. Crazy. Lawnmower man. You are truly the lawnmower man. Alright, so I'm going to put a socket in and put that chip in, and then we'll test it out and see if it was as easy as that. Okay, folks, so I put the chip in the socket. I've got it turned down dark so that we can look at the screen. Let's see what we got here. Very cool. Alright, so we just use this thing because we have it. You know, I don't really like talking bad about any company's product, but it's kind of unnecessary. You don't really need it, so don't go out and buy it unless you just absolutely want to have it. Usually you can find what's going on with it with the schematics, a logic probe, and Lawnmower Man's page. But we use it just because we have it. So I'll run through the little tests on it and show you. It says that hit one player start to begin. So let's see if anything else is broke on it. You're just going to have to deal with it being sideways, people. Joystick up and down to select. Press one player start for switch test. We don't really care about that. Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, we were... Okay, it was working. I thought it wasn't. Interrupt test, watchdog test, sound test, one player start. I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, so all your sounds are working. Video test. So there's a grid test. This test will draw a white grid on a black background. Use this to test monitor linearity. Corners should be square, blah, 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 blah. All right. Color bar test, color test. If 3 dots are orange, then Pac-Man mispack proms. If white, then Pac plus proms. Okay. All right. Sprite location test. This will test the placement of the moving objects in relation to the background maze. A colored ghost should appear centered in each of the 3 boxes. Yes. Sprite color test. Compare the monster below with its proper colors. Monster should have white eyes, blue pupils, and an orange body. Okay, and it tells you what to check if that's wrong. So, I mean, it will help you find certain things, but to be honest, usually all it does for us is it eliminates the EEPROMs. Usually, so that's what we were just using it for, was to, now we know there's not an EEPROM problem because it's doing it with the diagnostic kit into. This will test the motion of the moving objects. Use the joystick control horizontal and vertical movements. Hit one player start to exit. Left, right, up, down. All right. Video flip test. We flipped. We're not flipped. All right. Watchdog test. Use this to test the function of the watchdog circuit. During the test, you will see a row of dots appear. If the program resets, there is a problem in the watchdog circuit. Okay. Passed. Interrupt test. This will test the function of the Pac-Man interrupt timer. In normal gameplay, this is used to ensure synchronization between video and sound. During the test, you will see a row of dots appear at a rate of 1 per second. If the program resets, there is a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Passed. All right, so it's just stuff like that, folks. How do you get back out? I guess this is the main menu. All right, so that's all we got. So you know what we got to do now? We got to test it in the game. So we're going to take this back off and put the Z80, well, we won't use this one, but a Z80 back on the board, and then it's a Pac-Man board ready to be tested in the cabinet. So let's do that. All right, people, we've put it back in the machine. I guess I didn't show the machine yet. So we have an original Pac-Man here that we're working on. It's had some problems. Those problems have been rectified, and the board is back in it. Pac-Man baby. We took the little kit thing off and just put the Z80 back in. Everything's cool, so it's actually up and running and doing its thing. We got a nice monitor. It's a good looking little game. Look at that. Matt's saying it's not. So now I'm going to whip his ass in Pac-Man. That's what's going to happen. Come on. Look how good that looks.
I know, it's awesome.
And then he was complaining that there's a couple little screw holes on the side of it there. Look, people, I didn't do that. Somebody else did that. I'm not going to hate on it just because it's got a few screw holes in it. You're worse than the commenters in the comment section of my YouTube videos. I was just reading them. Guys telling me, now get this, Matt. You tell me, do you know what ESD is?
ESD?
Electrostatic discharge.
Okay.
Guys telling me I make him nervous working on the arcade games without having an electrostatic discharge bracelet on, because static can kill chips on PCBs. Now, how many PCBs do you think I've fixed?
A couple dozen, maybe.
Yeah, this week.
This week,
right?
Yeah.
So I've fixed probably, well, worked on probably at least 1,000. No, I've sold thousands of games. So how many boards have I messed with? You know how many I've with electrostatic discharge? 0. That's how many. Okay. 0. But yeah, electrostatic discharge is a bad thing on these older games. So people put a shackle on your arm and bolt yourself to the floor when you work on them, okay? So I didn't do that earlier in the video. I apologize, everybody. I didn't know what I was doing. So all of you people that read in a book somewhere that ESD is a bad thing, I apologize for not knowing about ESD. So anyway, let me set up the tripod, and me and Matt are going to play Pac-Man, and we'll see who can do better. Now, the Corona thing's going on. You think you're going to get the Corona from me? We're both going to touch the same joystick.
You got any gloves?
No.
Oh, well.
He's going to risk it. All right.
Don't lick your hands.
All right. All right, we're going to try playing. He's going to be first player. I'm going to make him first player, and I'll be second player like Elvis used to do. All right, we got it set up. All right, start a. You want to do a two-player, or you just want to you play and then I play?
We're going to do two-player.
All right, let's do a two-player.
Give me a break.
We'll do old school two-player.
Because I've been playing for so long.
This is how you used to have to do it in the back in the day. So I put a quarter up on the bezel, the bezel.
Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
What?
I thought you was going to keep talking before I start.
Oh no, I talk all the time.
Okay.
You're gonna have to cut me off eventually.
You ready?
Yep.
Two-player?
Yep.
Man, it looks good in the dark.
Should it be louder? Oh, it's the fast version too, people.
Probably wouldn't hurt to be a little bit louder.
All right, we're going louder. Oh man! I touched the board without an electrostatic discharge shackle on, and I don't even think I was wearing a rubber.
A what?
Oh, this is a Pac-Man. You don't need one.
Oh, crap. Dude, I was you messing me up.
My turn. Get the hell out the way. See, the secret is you have to put your arm up on the side of the cabinet, like the people did that wore all the paint away. Now, guys, and girls, I'm not really very good at Pac-Man. But I think I'm good enough to beat Matt.
It's easy to overshoot.
Yeah, it is. Woo.
What?
Oh, come on. Oh, I had the ones down here. Oh, go. That's you. I had the ones down at the bottom I forgot about.
Oh, really?
Well, I can see this is going to be a 2-game deal.
I don't even know what I was doing.
Missed one. Well, there goes my perfect game. Ooh, I stole it. They're about to steal me. Whoa, I missed.
How much did he get?
Yeah, I did that on purpose because I forgot those were down there. I thought, oh, I got them, but I didn't realize I had all the other ones.
Screen does look good. Do you have a pattern?
No, I just like.
I just go.
I don't really play to like do good. It's kind of fun just running through the maze, you know. I'm just playing. I'm just playing the game. Oh, they got me.
I don't know how to round them up or anything. Okay. Maybe I can at least get one. Two.
We're going to have to get better at it.
I know. I'm doing awful.
We're going to have to get better at it, people. Man, it's pretty fast. My theory is the fruit is a sucker move. They're trying to get you to go over there for that little 300 points. It ain't worth the risk.
No, not right now.
I mean, if I get the opportunity, I go get it. But that sound whenever he munches them is like the coolest sound. To the people that have never played like the actual fast speed one, on the video is 60 frames per second, but sometimes on the video it looks like Pac-Man's just running with his mouth open or his mouth closed. It's not like that in person. He's
See, I did it again. I went like that right there.
he's packing the whole time. It's just you can't. The camera doesn't catch it all.
See, it'll look like his mouth is open.
Yeah, on the camera, sometimes it'll look like his mouth's just like he's just doing this all the way across the screen because of the frame rate on the camera. Oh! Your turn. Or is that my turn?
That's me.
No, that's you. Pretty good. You're getting there. Well, you failed to beat me. Okay, I got to get better at going up. The last time I kept having a problem with going up. Screw the cheese, let me out of the trap.
That's Google beat my high score there.
Maybe not this game, but eventually tonight, yes, I will. Whoa, I wasted that one. I was trying to stop. Ah, I did it again. You gotta run from him. Oh, look, that wasn't the last. See the stuff down on the bottom left? I forgot about it.
Should eventually slow that down. Give you more time with the power pells.
Do what?
Didn't it eventually give you more time with the power pells later? Or do they always
No, I think eventually it goes back. And for a long time it doesn't do anything. Like the power pellets don't do anything.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right, I got 38,000. You got 22,000, but before you got 45,000. So I'm gonna do the Elvis thing. So I'll tell the Elvis story again. So Elvis Presley, thank you very much, at Graceland had a pinball machine. I think it was a knockout, a Gottlieb knockout. And whenever people would come over, he'd say, hey man, you want to play some pinball maybe? And they'd say, sure Elvis, I'll play anything with you. And he'd say, well, you go ahead, you be player number one, I'll be player number two. And so player number two, he had a pinball guy rig it up so that player number two got twice as many points as player number one. So he would always say, hey man, yeah, you go first, you be player number one. And the reason he was doing that was because he was going to cheat and be player number two. So go ahead, Matt, you can be player number one.
What you're trying to tell me happened here?
Huh?
That's what happened here?
No, I didn't rig this up. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. I can already tell I'm not going to do good.
No, you got it. Oh, yeah, look how you lined them up.
Not going to do it.
Matt plays this thing like he's driving a truck. Jamming those gears, baby. You wait till I figure out how to go up better.
Yeah. Not gonna do it.
Woo!
I thought I was going to get him.
I thought you was going to get him, but you didn't get him.
Nope.
He got you. Oh, yeah.
Just barely.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to get cutesy with it.
Well,
Well, you're doing pretty good, really.
yeah, not going to happen. I was wondering if there was. I actually was trying to see if I could go far away and go and. I don't know what the pattern is. It seems like I'm rounding up.
What the hell, man? People, I have not been drinking at all. Matt, have I been drinking?
Nope.
Plenty of time. Not that much time, though. Whoa!
See, I've done that a few times. I was in the wrong section.
Go back this way.
Do they move depending on which way they're moving?
I think they're all different. I would tell you, but there's people watching, and they'll start telling me how wrong I am in the bottom. But I believe, I'll just say it, they can bitch if they want. One of them moves the exact opposite as you. And one of them is always trying to get to a spot, a certain number of spots in front of you. And one of them just aimlessly wanders around. And then the fourth one... The fourth one, I can't remember what they do. Oh, the fourth one is just following you the whole time. Like it's like behind you a little bit, I think. I'm sure that's all wrong. I'll hear all about it.
How come they don't all come out when you're waiting on them?
What do you mean?
Just only one ghost was out there. When I played a little earlier.
Oh, they time it. Like it'll come for, like, they'll stay in there and then after a little while, one of them will come out. I don't know. They must have some kind of pattern. Your powers are increasing.
Slightly.
Pretty good. You're doing pretty good, Matt. I think you're going to win this time. I'm going to have to really up my game to beat you this time. You're doing pretty decent.
I got that one.
Very nice. Very well done.
It's in the wrong spot.
Oh, you psyched them out. It's pretty good.
No. I can see.
Get out of my way. She's all mine. I need to stand in front of it so I can see it better. They were doing what you were talking about. Not coming out. Whoa. All right. I gotta beat Matt. I gotta beat Matt. I left one. Damn. I'm not being as precise as I should be. I'm missing terms and stuff.
You'll find yourself.
Never. I'm always cool under pressure. Oh no, I wasted that one. About schlonged myself. I think we're going to get through it together, people. It's so fast.
See, they almost changed directions. See that?
I will say, I don't know this for sure, but I watched He Who Shall Not Be Named. There's a certain guy that's really good at playing Pac-Man, but if I say his name on YouTube, people get upset because he's a cheater. But the guy's really good at playing Pac-Man, and he does have a pattern, and his pattern, I guess, is probably the standard pattern a lot of people use, but his pattern has something to do with him faking that one out that I did where it's going down and then it goes back. I've seen him do that a bunch of times. I'm not doing it because he did it. I've seen him do it.
That's where Miss Pac-Man where you can make him go through the ghost.
I don't know.
There was some of the truth there's somewhere you could go and they can't get you in one of the corners or sort of one of the pieces.
Yeah, I think it's right there.
Yeah.
Oh man. The joystick might be screwed up. Okay, your turn.
Oh no.
I'm not going to blame it on me losing because of the joystick, because it's also screwed up for him if it's screwed up. Yeah, if you let go of it, I think you go down.
So I was going to say something, but I didn't.
That's not why I'm losing though. I'm not I'm not going to be a little punk and act like I'm losing for the machine cheating. We're both suffering with the same droopy joystick apparently.
Did not think I was going to make it.
You're doing pretty good, Matt.
Doing better.
You're doing pretty good. Look, you've got a higher score.
I'm trying to compensate for this messed up joystick.
Yeah, you've got a higher score, but I was already at this level, so you're getting more points per board too.
Good gosh.
Whoa! You don't play no games.
Nope.
They ain't playing no game. You just gonna have to like them pellet points. You ain't gonna get many of them ghost points.
I stopped really after we got that one.
You need them pellet points. Oh.
You didn't get that.
No, I'm not blaming the joystick. I don't think it's fair to blame the joystick because you got the same problem. I won the first game. You've beat me fair and square the second game.
I dominated the second.
I don't mind admitting when I lost a game that has absolutely no merit on real life. Now, if you tried to tell me you looked better than me or something, I'd get all pissed off about that. Or if you tried to tell me I was pronouncing something wrong. Look, they reset back to where they're...
I missed that thing in the middle.
It kind of looked like a water bottle, like a hot water. What do they used to call those things that you sat on? That had hot water in it.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like one of those. I think it. What in the world would it? Oh, I believe that's a pear. What else would be green? It's got to be a pear, right? Surely to God.
You see, now it's back short again. Not as short, but it's definitely shorter.
Well, that's into you. All I got to do is get 27,000 points on one guy at a high level.
I'm good at that. So what comes after the second cabbage or whatever it is? I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
Fruit and then have a cabbage. Oh, maybe that's a...
You know what we could do? Look on the bezel. The bezel.
Nope, it's question mark. You're supposed to mess up and eat all the dots right
I need 20,000 points. 22,000 points. I think I can do it.
My shoulders hurt.
Your shoulder hurts.
Yeah.
What? Woo! Lordy, lordy. That's about the end of me.
You should not have survived any of that. You did.
Oh, well, Matt won. Matt beat me bad, fair and square. You did very well, Matt.
Dominated. Thank you.
You're pretty good at this game.
Yes,
I did beat you the first time, though, but I think you were probably sick or something.
Accident.
It was probably when you touched the joystick, you got a shock of the corona, because I had touched it, and it immediately kind of messed you up, but your immune system is so strong that you beat it real quick.
It kicked in, yeah.
And then by the second game, you were back to normal. All right, folks, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave your comments below. And Matt, did you know that my brother now has a YouTube channel?
Really?
Yeah, it's called My Brother Donnie. Have you met my brother Donnie?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
met him before.
Was he crazy when you met him? You can say it.
A little bit. We didn't talk too much. But
He's crazier than me, okay? And he's crazier than Joey. So the craziest of the three there's three brothers. The craziest is Donnie. So Donnie has a channel now. So we did a bunch of videos on it, Matt, where me and him and I were fixing up like an old mobile home that we bought. And it was all screwed up, really bad screwed up, right? But we fixed it up and rented it. And he does like a lot of stuff where he's like working on his truck and doing small engine repair, and he has a little farm, so he's like feeding goats and stuff. There was one that was a goat birth. It's crazy. Have you ever seen a goat be born?
No, I have not.
If you haven't seen a goat birth, go watch My Brother Donnie. That's the name of the channel. You're gonna go right now, right, Matt?
I don't think so.
So that's just a sample of the type of crazy crap that my brother Donnie gets into. Oh, and there was also a goat birth where the goat was born wrong, like the didn't come out right, so they had to pull the goat out. Which I thought, oh my God, they're messing with this goat. Why don't they just leave it alone? But apparently, it's a real thing. If the goat is born with its legs back instead of forward, or if the goat is coming out backwards, big problems. So this goat had twins, and he had to pull the goats out. Yeah. And he filmed it. He filmed it, and it's all real shaky, so the whole time he's going, hey, grab it, put some grease on it. So if you haven't seen any of that, go check it out. It's pretty awesome. So that's my brother Donnie. And then, do you know about our Amazon link? I've told you about that, haven't I?
Yes, the Amazon link.
So we put a link to Amazon down below in our video, in the comments too. If you click the link, if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, they pay you like a royalty because basically you advertise for Amazon. You sent somebody to Amazon. So if they click the link, it takes them to Amazon, and then anything they buy normal, like on their account or whatever, it pays us like an advertising thing. So that's pretty cool. So people have been buying all kinds of stuff. There's one guy out there who works on lawnmowers, apparently. And by the way, I don't know anybody that's bought anything because it doesn't say their names or anything. So I don't know if anybody's buying or if it's just one person's buying everything. But there's this one guy who's cool as hell. He keeps buying all of these lawnmower like carburetors and fuel filters and stuff. So he's fixing the hell out of some lawnmowers out there. That's all I got to say. Or it might be like it's just small engines that he's putting in go-karts or something. But I don't know. I don't know the guy.
So you watched your videos and then...
Yeah, if you click that link, basically you go to Amazon, and then anything you buy on Amazon after you click the link, it pays us a royalty for it. So this guy, I guess he's got it bookmarked or something. But so like every couple days, another carburetor, or sometimes he'll buy like 10 of them.
Well, that's good. I mean,
yeah, it's awesome. I love it
because the prices aren't marked up.
Now here's the cool part. Okay, earlier in this video, and we did this on one other video. Earlier in this video, this Pac-Man board, you weren't here, but I was fixing the Pac-Man board. It had an issue where there were doubled images on it. Right, we fixed it yesterday, and we're playing it the next day. So Matt wasn't here yesterday. Okay. So the way that you fix a Pac-Man board is there's a guy on the internet who put up together a log a long time ago of all the different stuff that can happen on a Pac-Man. So if you have a problem, you go read this guy's page. Guess what the guy's name is? Lawnmower Man.
No way.
Yep, the guy's name is Lawnmower Man. So it might be the same guy. That's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
See, that's what I was thinking, that it might be the same guy, because there's probably only a couple of Lawnmower Mans out there. All right, folks, we appreciate you watching. Hope you had a good time. And Matt, I'm going to get Matt to stop talking about the damn electrostatic discharge. He keeps saying, oh, why are they talking about that? He keeps bringing it up. I don't even know why. But leave your comments below and let us know what you think, and we will see you on the next video. Have a good evening.